Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for July 14th, 2019, with your host, Spaceburger2448 and Rapid Epsilon.
Hi.
I forgot a couple things about these episodes in terms of, I forgot that they happened in these episodes. This is what happens when you watch a series once and then don't watch it since it, practically came out. You remember the broad strokes. You forget when those broad strokes happened. In terms of, the little things as well. And I can also say, surprising enough, I can't talk about this week's episode of Geo because it's not subbed yet.
Can you blame them?
Not really, but I'm also surprised because the one fan subgroup that has been doing Rider on Sundays didn't put it out today. And that makes me go, okay. So, that happened. So, I don't have Geo to talk about. Because we already talked about it last night for, what was it, an hour? We talked about Geo?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. I was telling Molinus on Twitter, because he was confused. He was wondering, why the hell did we go from, oh, this watch thing is yours, here, to follow up on Blade? And I pretty much told him that my guess was the show soft rebooted itself after the Another Geo arc. And it was probably either toy sales or ratings. Which he said that the toy sales were fine and super good.
Oh, it was ratings.
Yep. Which wouldn't surprise me. Same thing happened. Well, kind of the same thing happened to Go Busters. Go Busters had a soft reboot. Because if you remember, it had 2 theme songs. Or 2 different openings. The soft reboot is with the second opening because toy sales were bad for Go Busters. And that's why we had the soft reboot of the series and the new opening and stuff and the kind of tonal shift. Yeah, if it's ratings, I wouldn't be surprised. Which
I'm sure
makes Geo feel worse because it feels like we restarted from a certain point from the teens in the series with the Blade arc. Even though we're in the 30s at that point. But hopefully Geo will just be done at some point. God, I want Geo to be done. But we have a good Rider series to talk about because we're talking about episodes 21 through 24 of OOOs, which debuted on February 6th, 13th, 20th, and 37th. So all of the February episodes. So, how are you feeling almost being halfway through the series after these episodes?
It kind of don't feel like it should be the halfway point, really.
Well, I say almost. I don't think we're technically at the halfway point just yet.
Not technically, but I mean, close enough to where it should kind of feel like we're encroaching into that.
Yeah. I think it might help that, at the very least, we'll have big plot developments next week. Unfortunately, they'll be interrupted by the 1000th, or the 999th and 1000th episode of Rider, which is its own thing, separate from everything going on with the show at the moment. So, And there isn't much cheeky anyway, so you know how that writing's going to be. And then afterwards, we have to watch a movie that is related to those 2 episodes. Yeah. So, complications next week. But let's take a look at starting off with episode 21, The Grasshopper, the Father and Son, and the Ally of Justice. So we kick things off at the Kuskasir. Not the Kuskasir, with the Kuskasir crew, our usual suspects outside of Ankh, because Ankh doesn't do anything to help out at the restaurant. Ever. They're coming back from Valentine shopping for, I guess, Valentine stuff in supplies so they can make Valentine's chocolate, which, interesting enough, I found out that Valentine's is a bit broader than what it's normally shown as in America and Japan. Like, for Valentine's Day in Japan, you don't just give chocolate to, like, the person you love. You also have specific kinds of chocolate that you give to coworkers and family members and pretty much anyone else you care about in your life. There are specific kinds of chocolate that you give them.
So it's one of those, we do Valentine's, but they do Valentine's.
Yes, they do Valentine's, and it sounds a bit more complicated because it's just okay, you gotta plan out like everything. And it even gets gender specific. So, like, if you're a guy, you do this specific things for Valentine's Day. But if you're a girl, you do these kind of things for Valentine's Day. It's like, this is really complicated. I feel like you need a checklist and stuff to make sure, like, okay, did I get everything for Valentine's Day? But Goto is the one that spots that a kid is just telling off some adult for littering and literally kicks him for it when he doesn't listen. Because who's going to listen to this 5-year-old tell me off because I threw a can on the floor? But the kid shoves him, which prompts Goto to intervene and protect the kid. But Edgy uses hermit wisdom to just get everybody to relax. So the guy walks away, and then he helps the kid up, brushes him off, and like butters up the kid to like talk about why he did this. And then it's apparently because he refuses to like forgive bad guys, just like his father. And that's when his father shows up. And he finds out about everything, and he's a bit concerned by all this because he's probably leaving the not good impression on his kid, to be honest.
Yeah.
But Chiyoko recognizes him from college. I believe he was her senior in college, I believe is the connotation. I forgot the specific connotation at the moment. It's not like it's that important.
Yeah, it really doesn't make too big of an impact on this entire arc.
Yeah, Chiyoko will only be important for like one thing that is foreshadowing later. Like later. But she tries to get him to drop by the restaurant with his kid and his wife. But he declines and leaves, and that's our cold open. Coming out of it, we're back at the Kuskasir, and Ankh is not helping with prepping the chocolate because it's Ankh. He doesn't care, nor does he even know what chocolate is. So he's just like, I don't care. I have my addiction. I have my ice pops. I'm good. But we cut to the kid and his dad having a conversation about the whole situation, and the dad is a bit concerned by all of this, and the kid kind of doesn't care and kind of runs off because he's 5 and doesn't understand the intricacies, the gray area of this whole situation, which is kind of a theme for both of these episodes.
Yeah.
We find out that the father has been failing the bar exam to become a lawyer several times, and he ended up leaving his family to give him motivation to do it this time. Which, like, the bar exam is hard. Like, it's okay. But after the kid leaves, Uva shows up and decides that this guy, with his desire for justice, was perfect to make a yummy. So whammies him to get a yummy. Back at the Kusakasir, Edgy takes out Unk on a supply run for chocolate since they ran out of supplies for some chocolate they're making. In order to find out about the current situation with him, since, Unk has 4 of his medals, but hasn't changed in his form, which is odd.
And had what can be considered a broken transformation, I would assume. Because, he almost did, and then it just disintegrated.
It's less of a transformation and more of a projection, because that wing is part of his form, but... Well, we'll find out next week what his real situation is.
Yeah, because we definitely know that these 4 episodes do nothing for that except for the one-off line right now.
Yeah. Honestly, it feels like these 4 episodes are more for the Birth Brothers. Because these 2 episodes are for Goto, and then the next 2 episodes are for Date.
Yeah, but I get that. But at the same time, I feel like if that's the case, why did we even bring it up right now? Or, better question, I get we brought it up right now because of it recently happening, but why did we not try to follow up? Like, why could that not be a thing that, Edgy keeps trying until he finally gets an answer?
Yeah.
That has to be a complaint I have with that, because it's like, we either should go ahead and get it within this arc anyhow, or if they have a better plan for it that would happen post all of this, maybe kind of just use this to have a few one-offs, like, okay, hey, while nothing's going on, you were saying, and then have something go on again.
Yeah, because interesting enough, when I was reading up on the writer wiki, I stumbled across a bit of Ank's backstory from the O's novel, because the O's novel dives more into what happened however many years ago, I forget how many it is, but with the original O's and the creations of the Greed and stuff, and Ank's backstory and all that, and I didn't know that. I don't know if it was supposed to be this way for the show, but it definitely colors Ank's actions going forward for me. Granted, it also plays into revelations about the Greeds later on, so I can't really talk about it, but it's out there.
Well then.
Bear in mind, the O's novel came out within the last 3 or 4 years, I think. Forget the exact release date. I don't even remember if Yasuko Kobayashi wrote it. No, it's written by Nobuhiro Mori. So the other writer for O's that pops up. He wrote these 2 episodes that we're talking about. And they came out 2012. Okay, that's not as later as I thought it did. That's 2 years after the show debuted. Or no, well, a year after these episodes debuted.
Oh, wow.
But before Ankh can answer, we cut to the guy who tries to stop a perch snatcher and doesn't do a good job of it. But his Yummy shows up and stops him and kicks his butt and takes the purse and evolves as well into I think a proper grasshopper Yummy.
I think you're right.
But Ankh ends up dodging the question because they got to go deal with the Yummy, which they see give the lady back her purse, but they don't directly fight it because they got busy fighting some trash Yummies. So the proper Yummy just gave the purse back and just left. Well, and they're very confused by this.
Yeah, like I feel like that probably would have drug into a actual fight against the Yummy right there, except for the fact that they were kind of dumbfounded at the fact that the Yummy gave the purse back and didn't hurt her, and it was like,
this isn't normal. I also love it when Ankh is even surprised by Yummy antics of just like, before you ask, no, I haven't seen something like this before, okay? Because I feel like he has to...
Is funny because Edgy and Axel dialogue after that, Ankh has the thought that Yummies can't actually be used for any kind of a good desire. And it's like, from a technical standpoint, yes, this one kind of is born from I guess, a good desire.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, we've come to find out it is horribly manipulated.
Surprisingly enough, not by Uwe at all.
I feel like partially.
Yeah.
But not completely. Because I feel like he knew what he was doing.
But after this happens, we see the father gets patched up to Koskasir, and he just leaves to go to do his part-time job, which we don't even find out what that part-time job is. So he just leaves because he needs to leave. Edgy pretty much just comments on the fact that they want to stop the Yummy before things get out of hand because Hermit Wisdom tells him, ooh, this is not going to turn out well. I see where this is going to go, and it's not going to end well. Which, considering his experience, yeah, I'm sure he's been in this situation before.
Which I believe he even has a comment to go to. He has seen this exact kind of concept go, where someone thought they could be judge and jury and executioner, and it didn't work.
Yeah. But we catch up with the father and see him realize, oh, I can use this Yummy to take out assholes who are being dicks. Yay. Oh, the first step to the dark side. Cutting away from that, we check in with Kogami, who congratulates Date on being birthed and gives him a cake. And Date takes a few bites of it and then just says, I'm not really that much of a sweets guy, and just kind of leaves the cake there. And Sayako gets a little upset by this. I guess it's because it's like, great, now I have to eat all this cake. Because we know it's her job to do all the cake testing.
Even though she prefers spicy food.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of a funny little thing there. It's almost like everyone that Kogami makes cakes for really doesn't want the cake.
Yeah. Granted, there's things about Kagami's background that makes me go, okay, that's why you do make cakes, I would think, in kind of retrospect. But we'll get there eventually.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I don't think anything has been really revealed about his backstory.
Yeah, I don't think.
We catch up with Goto, who's out on a run, and meets with the kid, and they talk about the whole situation, and Goto is now questioning why he fights. Because this is his two episodes of development, because we're gonna push him forward on his character arc, because he needs to be ready by a certain point in the show.
And I feel like that certain point's coming up.
Not immediately. I don't remember the episode number. But it's still a little bit, but like we gotta be pushing him to where he needs to be. So we gotta get him going. We see the father use a Yummy to take out a group of hooligans who are playing their music too loud. And I can't help but be an old man about this. Because it's like, here's a bunch of literal dumbass kids with their big ass speaker system out of the back of their car, which is so much this era. I can't help but just go, no, this was a thing at some point.
Gosh,
this is normal.
Kids, get off my lawn.
And I love how the guy just walks up, tries to talk him down, and then it's just like, fuck it, let the Yummy have at it. So Edgy and Unk intervene, but Edgy's a bit underpowered since they're out of a lot of metals that would be useful for this situation. And I love how Edgy's like, do we have this metal? Unk's like, no. Do we have this metal? No. What about this one? No.
Like, you're killing me here. Why do we have nothing? Oh, right. Kazari.
All right, Kazari. Kazari in the last few encounters with the Greeds. Fuck. So after a bit of fighting, the Yummy runs off after two of the hooligans who try to run away on scooters. And they almost run over the kid because him and Goto were nearby, I guess. And they were in the area and the kid ran out into the road on accident and about got ran over. But the Yummy stops them by shoving them off the scooters that stop perfectly and for some reason.
Yeah. That's not how momentum works.
I was about to say, the scooter should still be going that direction.
Uh-huh.
You only stopped the people.
It's one of those, either the scooters needed to keep going that way or the people needed to keep going that way. Not just a dead stop.
Yeah, that would actually hurt worse for them to be going the other direction. Because that is an incredibly fast reversal of momentum, and they might be really injured, or dead,
or both,
or both. But this is when Date arrives to fight the Yummy, and he tells Goto to look after the kid because Goto is on civilian protection duty these two episodes. Because that is unofficially his job now, is protect the civilians while the riders deal with the monsters. But Date, or not that, hang on, get my thoughts arranged. Uva is now going to intervene, so it's 2v1 against Burst for a little bit until Edgy arrives with Taka, Kwajaku, and Bata equipped at the moment. So we have the Taja Spinner, which is now a misconception on my part because I thought the Taja Spinner was only in Tajador form, but it's actually just a part of the Kwakachu arms. My fault. So they fight it out for a little bit. Edgy tries to use the Taja Spinner finisher because you can actually use core metals in it, along with just cell metals. But the father intervenes stands in the way and tells Edgy, no, I want to keep the yummy because I get to do what I always wanted to do with it. And then the kid joins his father and awkwardly just tells him, yay, Dad. And we end on the complicating of matters in this case. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I don't want to rag on the kid too much because I'm like, you're 5. Like, this is a 5-year-old. I'm okay with this. We clearly established that this kid does not grasp the entire situation. Because he's 5. But that takes us into episode 22, Chocolate, Faith, and the Power of Justice. We see the Yummy and Uva leave, and then the father and the kid leave as well, leaving us with the situation of, oh, this guy does not want us to destroy the Yummy, and the kid's involved. Oh dear. But we see the Natty Kid go to a fucking Yakuza place, Yakuza's office, and use the Yummy to take them out, which is totally the safest thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love how it's just they walk in there first, and then the Yummy comes in. It's like, why aren't you using why isn't the Yummy going in first? Why do you gotta wait? Isn't that incredibly dangerous?
Probably, yeah.
And then we check in with Goto, who is practicing and working out, and he is once more pondering what it means to fight. That's our cold open. When we come out of it, Date is picking up a second Birth Buster because he gave his to Goto and he needed a replacement. So Maki gave him a second one, begrudgingly. Isn't this when they argue about the painting?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Date once more is trying to cheer up Maki, but you stare at this this pressing painting all the time. You need to lighten up. Let's just take this painting down, put it elsewhere. And Maki's like, no, don't touch my stuff. You're ruining everything. Granted, I can't help but smile every time anyone annoys Maki to any degree. But back at the Cuscaseer, Edgy pretty much lays down his experiences with someone like our father here with coming into a power like this, and yeah, we need to take out the Yummy. Even though Goto's like, maybe we could leave this alone, and Edgy's like, no, this will get worse. He, without saying it, he pretty much goes, somebody's going to die if we don't stop him now. And that person's blood is going to be on this guy's hands. In this kid's hands. So we're going to stop this before it gets worse. Because it will get worse. Meanwhile, we see the father take his kid and the Yummy to go confront a corrupt official. And I love how they do the dramatic reveal. You were doing corrupt business shit. But while this is happening, we check in with our 2 different groups going on. Date's helping Goto train and is encouraging him to be like, hey, if you're on the wrong path, somebody will be there to stop you. Which is true. But I also love that while we're seeing Goto progress, we still get the comparison of how Date is, as Goto, he's knocking over the bowling pins that he's got set up with the Birth Buster, but Date just blows them in half.
Yeah.
So still that gap there. But all our groups converge on the Yummy's location, with Ankh and Edgy there first. Edgy just practically gets in the father's face and is like, "Is this what you want? Is this how you want to deliver justice?" Because Edgy's about to drop some hermit wisdom on this guy, and it's going to be super effective. But Uva ends up dropping in because he sees that things are not going to turn in his favor. Which I forgot to mention that the Uva dropped by and encouraged the father and stuff. I skipped that point.
You sure did.
I forgot to mention, like, Uva decides to be a little creepy and drops by and encourages the father to continue to pursue his desire, and even, like, looks like he's being nice to the kid, which is weird to how good he was at it.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to where we were. Uva sees things are changing, decides, fuck this, attacks the father, takes the kid hostage, and now wants core medals. Because he's at least getting something out of this if he's not going to get more cell medals. So Edgy says yes, and plans to hand over the Kuwagata, Tora, and bottom medals he has on him. But he also has a Candroid behind his back, so he's fully expecting to throw the medals, Candroid catches them, and he'll get the kid.
Also, I have a problem with this next thing that happens.
Oh, Unk's intervention in all of this, even though he could clearly see the Candroid?
Yes. Thank you for adding that part.
Yeah. It kind of makes sense in hindsight, considering what we know about the Greets. Kind of. I'm not going to completely excuse Onk's, like, thing here, especially considering, like, we're only going to lose one medal out of this, and it's going to be the Kuwagata medal, because we're going to get the Bata medal back, and the Tora medal doesn't get lost. So I don't know why we just didn't lose Kuwagata somehow.
Or, you know, why maybe during that, maybe that was the only one that they couldn't lay hands on, kind of deal.
Yeah. But Unk bungles the plan because he, like, shoots his hand out and, like, collides with the Peacock Candroid that Edgy threw to go after the medals, and screws it all up. So they only get to keep the Tora medal, but they lose the Kuwagata and Bata medals to Uva. But the dad shows up and buys time for Date to show up and save the day, because Edgy has no medals. Onk is currently stuck under Uva's foot. So our heroes are in trouble. But Date manages to change off Uva and Yummy, while Goto just keeps the kid safe by going the opposite direction, even though they still end up in the same place.
Well, he gets turned around easy.
Apparently.
It sounds better than than the fact that he would be incompetent enough to wind up going the same way.
Yep. Unk ends up being pissed by this entire situation and wants to, like, yell at Edgy, but Edgy refuses to give him the time of day and is only focused on getting the dad to not fall to the dark side and to be better and not want to punish every dumb kid that does a stupid thing when they are fucking 18. Like, come on. The world is not that black and white. Relax. But fortunately, Dante's efforts are in vain, as when Goto tries to keep the kid safe and tries to get through to him, Uva shows up and he tries to whammy the kid and get Yummy out of him and his desires, but the kid ends up like forsaking the desire that could be used to bring out a Yummy, and just wants his dad back, which Uva can't use. So I guess it has to be a big enough desire to birth a Yummy, otherwise it won't work.
But, that's weird too. Because if that's the only thing the kid wants, then should that not be a big enough one?
I think Uva said it was petty. So I guess maybe it's I don't know. I guess it just depends.
Unless it was just a case of Uva didn't think it could go anywhere. Because I know in the next episode, he makes the comment to Kazari about making a dud, basically. So maybe they have to kind of gauge it too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just that seemed kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. But Goto gets the kid away, and Eiji arrives. They take on Uva. Eiji now has Taka Tora in Kawagaju. Or not Kawagaju, Condor, my bad. Because, what's more, kind of just running low on medals here. Gotta use what we can. Father ends up protecting his kid from some rubble. Because as he was told by Eiji, he's going to protect his small bit of happiness, which is his family. Which is probably for the best. Dante shows up, teams up with Ankh, and they get a couple of core medals back. Specifically a Bata medal back, and they get a Taco medal, which will be used later. Eiji ends up going Tajador after Uva leaves when this happens of like, I ain't losing any more shit, goodbye. With the Taj spinner, just blazes through the Yummy, and that's it for the episode. We wrap up back at the Kosuke. The family drops by. Guy's going to be an attorney. Maybe Phoenix Wright is looking for an apprentice. He could teach him right. That's kind of it. So how'd you feel about these two episodes?
I think the things I've pointed out are probably the only complaints I've got with it. Like, otherwise, I thought it was alright. I mean, I feel like it did good in terms of what they probably prioritized as far as using this as like a building for Goto.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there was some finer details that they kind of either skimmed over or could have done a little better. But I mean, I don't think it was bad.
Yeah.
It's more would be give this to the writers of Geo, and then you'll know what bad is.
Yeah. And also telling, since I looked at it, these are, like I said, the only two episodes written by Nobuhiro Mori. His actually first two episodes of OOO he's written. Yasuko Kobayashi did not write these episodes. She didn't write the next two. And I think Mori only writes like 4 more episodes of the series. But we're not hitting another one anytime soon. But we will move on into episode 23, Beauty and Egg and the Sleeping Desire. We see Kazari is going to be testing out his new capability since he now has medals for himself, Mizul, and Gamel in him. So now he has like 3/5 of the Greed's core medals within him. And now he can make a Yummy with all 3 traits in play. Which we only really see 2, but I guess Gamel's is tricky to work in outside of just design.
Yeah. Because I can't think of a good way you would pull that off for his.
Mm-hmm. Checking in with Date, we see him shrugging off getting a medical exam under Maki's orders because he says he's fine. He even says he's a professional. Remember that. It'll be important later. Back checking in with Cuscasier, we see it's French Day. It's the day we celebrate France. Old France. So everyone is in costume. And Unk is contemplating possibly using Shoshota, since they have 2/3 of the medals. And outside of his combo, which I'm sure he's extremely cautious on using because it's his core medals that he has to like pull out of himself to do that, he would like another combo in play so he doesn't have to just go, fine, use my medals. I also like to touch that I don't think he keeps his medals in the book.
Yeah, I think that's the only ones he don't keep in the book.
Which makes sense. But we cut to a beauty care manufacturer, a beauty care products manufacturer, I assume. I don't think we ever get explained what the hell this place is.
Yeah, I don't think we do.
But the president is showing a TV crew around the facility, and she's proclaimed to be this smart and beautiful lady. As we see her sister like roll by with stuff because she works there. And spoiler, she's the actual brains behind the operation. The president is just the looks and the face. That's our cold open. Coming out of it, we find out that the president doesn't like her sister that much. And is, I guess, jealous of her brains. Kazari ends up whamming the sister to try to start the process for his yummy, since it's gonna be a process. Meanwhile, we see Date drop by the Cuscasier and sees that there's only sweets on the menu, which he's not a fan of, as we found out in the last 2 episodes. So he ends up like leaving with a coupon, though, because Chiyoko likes getting customers back even if they aren't doing the thing they would want to have that day. Surprising amount of foresight on Chiyoko's part.
Yeah.
But it has her face on the coupon, which is important for later.
Yeah, I didn't quite get that when it comes up later, but we'll get there.
It plays into Maki's backstory, which we've only really like foreshadowed with the puppet and stuff. So it's more foreshadowing of what is Maki's deal. Because he kind of acts the same way he does when the puppet gets knocked off.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, I kind of don't really get that one.
It's a excuse me. It's a question that remains unanswered for a while.
As long as it's just for a while and not forever, then we're already doing better than everything Gio's thrown at us.
Yep.
And if it sounds like I'm hating on the show, it's because it partially is.
Yeah. We take shots at Gio every time it happens.
Especially when there are better shows.
Mm-hmm. Either case, we see the sister working away, and a couple of her co-workers take a lunch and comment on how, she's not that pretty looking, but she's the brains here. And we see from pictures, because I'm going to combine this with a later scene, that like she knows Date because he's in the pictures from Work Abroad.
I thought I caught that when they first were showing the pictures, but it wasn't until later that I was like, oh, okay, I did actually catch that.
Yep. But in between that, we see Uva and Kazari have words about Kazari's failure, but Kazari is confident. Just need the right poke and prods. Got to play the long game, which Kazari is trying to do, and unfortunately, it's not going to pay off for him. But we see Date grab lunch at his favorite udon place with Edgy and tries to dig into Edgy's backstory, which Edgy kind of shrugs it off. And it's like, we probably met at some point. Because Date's pretty sure he's met Edgy at some point.
But I also love the fact that Date's like, no, if we met, I definitely would remember you.
Yeah. Which I don't remember if that's actually the case or not. But I guess we'll get to it whenever it's fully revealed. But Kazari and Uva end up fighting, which means Ankh needs to get off his roost that he has above them because he's spying on them, because he's wondering if they're talking about metals, and they're not, so he's bored. He's like, oh, they're fighting. Edgy, let's go fight. And Date ends up falling behind. But that means he gets to meet up with the sister, and they, reconnect a little bit before Date has to run off. But he promises, hey, meet me back here for dinner, and we'll catch up. We see that Kazari is powered up, so he manages to not only shrug off Uva, but Edgy and Date as well.
Which,
all three of them.
As far as adding Date into the mix, that's kind of not that surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing as how Uva's shrugged Date off, it's like, yeah, that's not really a factor anymore.
Mm-hmm. But cutting away, we see the sister is starting to delve into her desire to be pretty and to be recognized just as much as her sister is. So now she has a big old yummy egg. Big old blue yummy egg to haul around for an episode and a half.
Yeah.
But Ejigo and Tajador does force Kazari away, but Birth ends up being down a drill arm because it's busted and broken. But after this, Unk and Eiji end up chasing down the yummy egg because, Unk knows where yummies are. So, oh, look, a yummy's in play. Wait, let's go do it, even though we just got done fighting Kazari. They find the sister hauling it around, but they're forced to fight off its many stingray drones. So they end up falling behind. Checking in with Date, he's at the restaurant, waiting to meet up with the sister, but he has to run because he's alerted to the yummy's presence by the little gorilla candroids he has, which I wonder how they're detecting the yummies. Because they're his alert system for it.
That's a good question. I always just chalked it up to was just something that Maki designed. Because since the yummies are comprised of core metals and he's had access to core metals, maybe there was a way for them to be able to alert that way.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to put the episode 24 notes in the episode 24 section. Oops. I just realized that.
That's a slow clap moment.
Yep. Gonna change that for myself at least.
Yeah, that's a slow clap moment. It's fine, it's right there.
Yeah. I was wondering, I'm like, the episode's ending off. Why do my notes keep continuing? Oh. Oops. I forgot to go down a little bit. But Date and Eiji managed to catch up with the sister and the yummy egg, and they see that she has a love spell, essentially. She's inflicting upon people, and Eiji is now under the love spell, and we kind of end off right there. Kind of abruptly, but we move directly into the next episode from here, so... Which takes us into episode 24, Memories, Love, and the Marine Combo. We see that Date is immune but that just means he has to fight off all the drones, and the sister gets away from them. We see that Edgy is supremely infatuated with her now, even making up a love combo, which, for reference, the complete selection O's driver has a sound effect for this love combo programmed into it.
That is funny.
Mm-hmm. I think we've even had a figure of this O's combo made. I think it was like a little tiny figure of it, but no, we've seen this O's combo in some type of physical form. Which is hilarious because it's as like inconsequential as like Cyclone XL Extreme. Ankh is having none of this because he's just irritated by all of this. But Dante takes it in stride because he's like, yeah, he got whammied by the yummy. Oh well, I'll go deal with this. This is my 2 episodes. I'm the one that has to go deal with this. That's our cold open. Coming out of it, we see the president is mad that her sister is ducking work, especially with a presentation coming up that she was supposed to do paperwork for. So she would have all the answers for any questions, and now she doesn't, and she's not happy. We see the sister gets a fully formed yummy now. It's like a stingray rhinoceros combo thing. Excuse me, I believe. But back at the couscous here, Hina is trying anything to snap Edgy out of it, and it's not happening. So now she's annoyed by this, which is hilarious. This is because this will be like one of the few times that both Hina and Ankh are on the same page about something. Checking in with Date, we find out he's down on his cell metal collection, according to Kogami, and Maki is chipping away at repairing the drill arm. So Date is on the sidelines for a little bit. Checking back in with the president, we see that her sister shows up with the yummy and takes her hostage and replaces her at the presentation, naming herself the new president of this company that makes beauty care products, I guess. That has a marine aquatic twist to it. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that part of this.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But Date ends up seeing this on his little portable TV and heads out with all the repairs complete. Maki then proceeds to flip right the fuck out about Chiyoko's face on the coupon for reasons to be determined. But checking with Edgy, he is high as a goddamn kite, and I have seen people love this little gif of him spinning in circles, slapping Ankh in the face. It's the best. It's like, if you ever needed, like, gifs that help personify what a show is, this is one of them. Shenanigans ensue as, like, Goto slaps around Edgy with a giant paper fan, which I know is a Japanese thing, because it's in Persona 5. And I think there's a fan item just like this in Smash Brothers, so it's a Japanese thing, but I can't tell you the full cultural context of it. But that doesn't work, and Ankh is about ready to throw a bucket of water on him, but I think Hina stops him.
Yeah.
But the shenanigans are interrupted by Date, who just drops by real quick. Was like, "Can I have Goto?" "Yes." "Okay, we're leaving. Bye." So now Ankh and Hina are left with Edgy, and Ankh can only just dump water on him and just dunk the bucket on his head. Like, this is what I get for choosing the literal first person I see to be O's. God damn it. Could have just waited. Should have waited. But no, I got this dumbass. But at the presentation, Date ends up confronting the sister, tries to wake her up from all of this, since the reason he's immune is he liked the person she was before. All the glitz and glamour and the yummy-induced love spells. because we found out that the two of them actually worked abroad, working with civilians and stuff. I think we got a bit of it. We didn't get the full thing. It's kind of spread across a couple conversations here and there. But she kind of snaps out of it, but the Yummy is still in play, so Date ends up fighting it while Koto is protecting the sisters. We check in with Hina and Ankh, who are literally dragging Edgy to where the Yummy is, and Kazari's there to stop them. And they're just like, hang on.
I love the fact that Kazari, being the good sport that he is, was like, wait, hold on, why? What? Sure, okay, whatever.
He even just shrugs at the camera in the middle of this, just like, I don't know what's going on, audience. Yeah, belayed by shenanigans that also involve both Ankh and Hina decking Edgy and sending him across the goddamn pier they're on. And I love how only Hina freaks out about, oh god, I went too hard. But a Team Henshin, which is called back on in Megamax, actually, is used to snap Edgy out of it, who was confused of like, why am I here? What is going on? And Ankh just shoves him to Kazari, just like, go fight him! I'm not dealing with you today. Go fight. Be productive. But Date ends up managing to force the Yummy into this monstrous, like, manta ray and with multiple arms form after taking a whole bunch of cell metals off of him. And as it busts out, the sister ends up getting injured. So Date has to put on his doctor cap and work to help stabilize her. Which, by the way, now I can tell you, yes, Date is a doctor. He's a combat doctor, but he's still a doctor, which means he has a PhD. He is technically Dr. Date. I am curious how you feel about this.
I mean, I think it works. Because that also kind of gives us that whole explanation about how he's traveled.
Yeah.
Not so much why he's back and why he's birthed, but at least why he was doing his travels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was working abroad and was in the same group of people as the sister was, working to help people. She was helping to get them water. Date was helping to keep them healthy, essentially. Meanwhile, Edgy and Ankh work to get the last blue core metal they need from Kazari. It's a little bit of tag team work. They finally get it. And Edgy ends up fighting the Yummy in Shishota form while Kazari leaves, going, well, I lost one with core metal. Bye. You're not getting any more from me. And while this happens, the sisters kind of make up. So they're back on good terms. While Date works, which, again, I'm sure the first time through on this, it's really weird to see Date go super serious and also super practical, like super just like into habits of being like, all right, I need this, and I need this. Because you just see how practiced he is of just like, no, all right, well, her leg's broken, that's in there, can't remove that, so I need this and this for this, and I need this for that.
And it's also kind of interesting to see the contrast between him being the goofy Date that we've kind of got introduced to the quick tonal shift of, oh crap, this stuff's getting serious, I better just be what I am.
Yeah. But Edgy ends up taking out the CGI monster with a JoJo reference, because of course it's a JoJo reference. It's always a JoJo reference. With the ha ta 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 with the taco arms. And the sister is taken off to the hospital to receive treatment, and she tries to confess to Date, but he's like, no, I got bigger stuff to deal with at the moment, so nope, can't take that. Honestly, the real reason he turns her down is because of the additional thing about his backstory, which is the reason why he needs $100 million or 100 million yen. But we end up with Edgy getting teased by Hina about the whole love confession situation and him having no idea. And that's it. So what do you think of these little 2 episodes?
I feel like it did really good building Date.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like on the contrast, it did really good at showing Edgy's completely goofy side.
Yeah, this is a super goofball Edgy.
I honestly can't think of anything bad I would have to say about this one.
I can say I am honest.
I feel like everything that was brought up going into this arc was still kind of covered within it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't have any loose ends, it don't feel like.
I am surprised we didn't have better shots of shirtless Date.
Honestly, yeah.
I fully expected more shots of shirtless Date, considering I know him, I know where he goes after the show. He actually gets to be one of the, new versions of one of the original 3 Metal Heroes. I forget which one. And in his movie, you get a really nice shirtless look at Date. So I'm surprised watching this. I'm like, why are we not seeing shirtless Date? Because, for reference, folks, he works out. He is set. So if you want to see that, go watch. I don't remember if it's Charavan or Scheider. I always mix up who is who of those 2. I don't remember. I think he's Charavan from the Metal Heroes Rebirth stuff. I can check real quick. No, he's Scheider. My bad. He's Scheider. Or the new Scheider. Anyway, yeah, I like these 2 episodes. I like we get more of Date stuff. I like how different this feels from Terry's introduction, where Terry is very standoff with Shotaro and Philip and a bit antagonistic. But here they're opposing, but they're still working with each other and working very well with each other, to be honest.
Well, I also feel like, okay, they have worked pretty good together really up to this 4-part, these 4 episodes here. And then it feels like after Kogami made the comment about the 2 of them together would be the perfect team is when it's like, that seemed to be the full-on change.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not super concerned with only getting cell medals and could care less about the rest of the stuff. He's willing to try to do whatever it takes to help.
Yeah.
And that makes me wonder if perhaps early Date was desire focused, whereas now he's like, okay, Edgy's not that bad, I'll help him, but I'm also gonna look out for what I'm needing too.
Yeah. And like I said, he has an extremely good reason for wanting 100 million yen. And also for kind of training Goto to be birth.
Well, I mean, to be fair, even excluding everything else, he even told Goto that, yeah, after he gets what he wants, he's done. So, of course, he needs a replacement. Granted, not knowing the rest of it, I don't know to what extent that goes, but yeah. He's kind of already made comments like, yeah, after I get what I want, I'm done.
I wish I remember the episode it's fully revealed, because, like I said, it's an extremely good issue. For extremely good reason. But yeah, that is it. Next week, as revealed in the episode preview, we have a bird yummy in play. And is it Onks? Is the big question that is on everybody's mind of like, Onk, did you pop a yummy while no one was looking? I have to ask, do you think he can?
I mean, that's one of those question mark moments there. It's like, I feel like the right answer is probably no, because he can't regenerate like the others, so that probably also is part of that problem. But at the same time, he is comprised just like them, so maybe?
So, if it's not Onk, who do you think it is?
I wouldn't even begin to guess on that one.
Because we know, I believe, that neither Kazari nor Uva have any more red core medals. And again, if it sounds like I'm playing cheeky, remember, I've seen the series. I know where this goes. I know what happens in the next 2 episodes. I know the revelation, so... But anyway, any other thoughts?
No?
Alright then, next week, not only will we find out more about Onk's situation with the next 2 episodes, since we do have a bird yummy in play. Wrong part. We will also be taking a look at the 999 and 1000th episode of Rider Overall. And it all leads to a wonderful little movie. Oh boy. Oh boy. So prepare for big revelations that have to be on hold for like 2 episodes before we get back to it. But anyway, if you like what you've watched and seen from us, give us a follow, tell your friends, have them drop by. We could use more average viewers to get affiliate status. We really appreciate it. If you want updates on when we go live, at TG Saloon is where you need to go to on Twitter. Follow that, and that will give you updates on when we go live. I might start posting like a couple hours early. Like, hey, I'm going to go live with the pre-show. Or we're going live tonight with X, Y, or Z thing. There will be a pre-show before then, if you want to hang out before we do the main thing we do.
Also going to point out, you can type in !Discord and join the Discord, and you'll get real-time notifications if you leave Discord running like some people do. Yep.
And also, there is a chat for questions. If you have questions you want to ask us about anything we talk about related to our podcast, because we'll be answering them on the podcast. That's where we're going to answer them. So if you got a gaming question, if you got a token question, if you got a TV movie question, drop it in the chat. We will happily answer them. This next week, you can expect more Bloodstained, Yakuza 0, Portal 2, me starting Marvel's Alliance 3 on Friday for the pre-show, and then following it up and playing through it the next few Wednesdays. Next Friday is actually Three Houses, which might be a full stream for the Fridays. I don't know. I don't know if you've decided on that or not.
I've not fully decided yet, but I don't know.
Okay.
I guess it really is going to depend on Portal 2, how far we get this week.
All right.
I think we will finish it, but I can't guarantee that. So if we do, then yeah, it probably will just be letting you do Three Houses all Friday.
Okay. And Saturday, Splatfest is next weekend, isn't it?
No.
It's this weekend? I wasn't super sure.
Isn't it the... I think it's this weekend. Yeah, I think it's this weekend.
Yep, starts Thursday, ends Sunday.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Forgot all about that.
Well, I knew it was upcoming because that's why Tetris 99 had a Splatoon event, or a Splatoon theme, because it was for the Splatfest.
Which this is the last Splatfest of Splatoon 2.
Yep.
Meaning Splatoon 3 in, what, 2 years? Question mark?
Yeah, right around that ballpark.
Because I'm thinking it was, what, about 2 years after the last Splatfest for the first one?
Probably. I'd have to go look up dates. Yeah, anything else? We have a follower goal. If we hit 180 followers, you're doing all your speed runs. I'm playing a terrible WrestleMania game. I know, super enticing on my part.
Not really on mine either, though. Like, it's going to be more aggravation for me, I have a feeling, because I've not touched some of the games in quite some time. And I seem to recall I got fed up with Sonic Mania the last time I tried.
Ooh.
But yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Get that.
Yeah, that'll do it for us. See you next week on TGSR for more Kamen Rider O's.